Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel where I love to talk about wealth, knowledge, love, and laughter. All right, so let's get into it. So today guys, I am doing just a brief recap video on being consistent in our self-care. I really feel like it's very important for us to make sure that we remember that, especially during this season. I made a post the other day on TikTok, and it was actually, the original post is very funny, but in my content, I always attempt to provide something valuable, right? And so inside of that humor, I mentioned seasonal depression and how it's a real thing, and just encourage people to make sure that they're taking care of their mental health, especially during the season between the months of October to December. And to my surprise, I had a couple of people respond to that. I shared it to Instagram, and I had someone respond and say that they were just talking to their therapist about this. And I was like, wow, it's a real thing, right? And a lot of times it's not talked about. I know I never heard about it until I became a psychology student and all of that. I never heard about seasonal depression growing up. And so just to hear her respond and say, hey, I was just talking about this to my therapist, really touched my heart. And so I encouraged her just to increase her self-care during this season, being intentional about putting those proactive steps to successfully get through the season when she knows that she normally has seasonal depression. And so I was actually, glad to hear these people responding with this awareness. And so that really warmed my heart to know that, hey, people are becoming more aware of what's going on and how their mind and their body is responding or reacting to things. And so that's so very important. I also had a lady to respond back on TikTok, and she said, this is so true. During the months of October to December, this happens for me. And she was like, I can't wait for January. She was just letting me know, during January is when her spirits start to come back, up. Her vibration is a lot higher. And so, like I said, it was just so, it was fortunate to hear that people are actually aware of this and that they understand these cycles. But then, one lady was also not aware. She just recognized it from when I made the post. And so the reason why I wanted to make this brief video, right, recapping self-care, is because it's so important to make sure that we put forth practical steps and be proactive before those cycles actually begin. Just from my experience, right, just a transparent moment here. Growing up, I didn't understand that practical steps were important because I was not taught to take practical steps towards healing, towards deliverance, or whatever it is. A lot of times in the church, unfortunately, we're handed a Bible, we're handed Jesus, we're handed different prayers, but we're not taught 1, 2, 3 steps on what I need to do to cope, right? When I leave out of this building and I'm done shouting the house down, right? And sweating my makeup off, right? And my hair out, what am I going to do from here? Because a lot of times people don't know what to pray, and they feel like they don't know how to pray. So it's important to make sure that we provide 1, 2, 3 steps, practical steps on things that people can actually do to catapult their healing and to be a part of their healing process. Unfortunately, it's almost like, and I'm just speaking from my experience, you can share if you've experienced this as well, but it's almost like we're expecting, we're using God as a genie, and we're like expecting him just to immediately change everything and, just come out of the sky and just shift everything for us, when God has given us power. We have the same power that he has. We are supernatural beings having a human experience. And so we have a mind, we have a will to catapult our own healing. Instead of just waiting on someone to come and save us, we need to begin to save ourselves and not just wait on someone to come and save us. And so I just wanted to remind you guys of that today. Make sure you're being proactive in setting up those self-care appointments. It doesn't have to be spending a lot of money. If you want to do that, if you want to spend money, sure, yeah, do that. I believe that's important every now and again as well. But it doesn't have to take you going somewhere. It could be just something as simple as setting on a calendar, having a nice bubble bath with some candles and some relaxing music, right? Instead of doing something else that's draining you, you can set that time aside and be intentional about doing whatever that is that you want to do. Right? And so I just wanted to get on here, like I said, to remind you guys of that, especially during this season. It's so very important to make sure that we apply practical steps and that we're intentional about our self-care, so that when those cycles come that we have a tendency to know of and be aware of, we are more susceptible to our healing during those cycles. We're more susceptible to awareness, right, of what goes on during those times. And so it's not to speak anything over ourselves, but it's about being aware and being a part of our own healing process. All right. And so if you know someone that deals with seasonal depression or has depression during any time of the year, right? Some of us deal with cycles of it throughout the year. Share this information with them. It will be very helpful to remind them to take care of themselves, especially during those cycles when they know they get really down. And then also make sure that you hit that bell button for notifications of when I upload videos. Like, follow, and share this information. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have already, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys again on next week. Thank you so much and have a great week.